There you go. All right.
Anyway,
Are you ready?
that'll help. Yeah, welcome everybody. Thanks for coming. I want to talk to you a little bit today about obesity in America. As a personal trainer, as a small business owner with a personal training company, it's near and dear to my heart. Currently, right now in America, we are sitting at about 36.5% obesity rate. One in three, about 1 in 3 Americans are obese. If you can take that a little bit further, and another third is either overweight. So you got 2/3 of the population that is either overweight or obese. What does this cost the healthcare system? Well, in 2008, the CDC released a report. This is their last report that they released. It cost the healthcare system about $147 billion, right? So take you, a healthy guy, and an obese man. It costs on average around $1,500 more to treat obesity than it does you. So, what are the reasons? Right? We, for the most part, we are a sedentary society. Okay, what does that mean? We don't move a lot. Also, we have a really bad diet. So they've classified our high sugar, high carbohydrate diet as the Western diet. I don't know if you knew that, but yeah, it's called the Western diet. It's not something to be proud of. Anywho, so talking about exercise, we don't move enough, right? And we eat too much. I really wanted to focus more on the eating part, specifically the nutrition part of it. And in that nutrition part of it, I specifically wanted to cover sugar, right? Sugar is, we all know it, we all love it, right? We eat it to the tune of 150 to 170 pounds a year. Americans, 150 to 170 pounds a year. And that brings in about $10 billion of the sugar industry. So if you look at this bag right here, this is a 2-pound bag of sugar. We consume 75 to 85 of these a year. Yeah. Anyway, so what happens when you, so your normal body process when you consume sugar? You consume it, your pancreas releases insulin, right? It releases insulin to do 2 things: to regulate that blood sugar, and to help your cells absorb the glycogen they need. And that glycogen that the cells do not need to get stored as fat, right? So it's kind of a 3-part process that your pancreas with your insulin does. So over time, as we're eating these bags and bags of sugar, or their equivalent, that continuous spike of insulin, that bombardment of insulin on your body's systems and your cells, results in an insulin-resistant body. And what do I mean by that? Your cells become resistant to the positive effects of insulin, the regulatory effects, the burning off as energy effects, and your cells become resistant to that, and that sugar gets broken down and stored as fat. So it's kind of a domino effect that exponentially raises the weight of the population. Not to mention type 2 diabetes, metabolic disease, and cancers, heart disease. I mean, you name it, it happens. So that's your insulin sensitivity, your insulin resistant. So we're not exercising, we're eating too much sugar, and it's killing our insulin and causing metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, and now we're just a big fat storage machine. So how do we combat this? There's not a lot of education out there on the detriment of sugar, right? The negatives of sugar. It's not advertised as a lot of things that you can see, like in the meat and dairy industry. Sugar is about a $10 billion a year business. So in my own personal opinion, I think that's one of the reasons why you don't ever see sugar. I don't know if we can all see that, but sugar, it tells you how much sugar is per serving, but it doesn't give you a recommended daily value allowance, right? Because if there was an allowance of sugar, if the FDA or USDA did an allowance of sugar, it would probably be zero, right? And that's $10 billion lost by the sugar companies. So we're 2/3 overweight or obese. We eat way too much sugar, and we really seriously need a better education on it. And thanks for listening to me.